Hello, Senpai Recap is here. Please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you are always updated with our uploads. The story starts with adventurer Nick working his hardest to progress his party to full rank as his ultimate dream. But Nick gets kicked out of his party, and this hurts a lot seeing that it came from his master, whom he looked up to as a father figure. Then he got dumped by his girlfriend. He soon becomes an idol fan. While he was depressed, his idol girl, Agate, came to give him tickets to her show. At first, he was distrustful. Before he knew it, he was hooked. In order to finance this new habit, he needs money. He tries to return to being an adventurer, but with no luck. As he drinks at the bar, weirdos come to sit with him, drowning in their sorrows. There's this rich magician girl Chana, a drunk playboy cleric Zem, and a wounded dragon girl Curan. Suddenly, in sync, they say aloud that they can't trust humans anymore. We start off with Chana's history. Basically, he is a prodigy of the Magic Academy. However, when she went to see her fiancé, she was told how her advancement made him useless. Worse, he accused her of bribing the teachers and also bullying this new girlfriend of his. Hence, he calls off their engagement. Chana left school and tried to live by herself. Jobs are hard to come by, especially for a noble like her. Then she ended up gambling and losing it all. Next is Zem. A priest in his hometown, he collected medicinal herbs with the help of an underage girl, Miral. However, Miral wanted to take their relationship to the next level. Zem turned her down since he is a man of God. Miral didn't like this, so she framed him for raping her and even paying her for it. He is thrown into prison and then booted out of town. With everyone hating him, Zem went from town to town, carousing with women. As for Curan, nothing much is sad except that something precious was stolen from her. Everybody wakes up next morning in Chana's room. They parted ways, thinking they would never see each other again. But then an idea hits Nick. If they have it tough surviving on their own, why not form a party together and do jobs since they don't trust others? The quartet registers as a party. The receptionist notices Curan as a sole survivor in a tough labyrinth. Nick decides to call this party Survivors, as this is what they're going to do. He then lays down a few rules, especially about money and trust. As they fight slime through a tower, Chana accidentally fires at Curan. Although she manages to block it, this makes Curan mad since she wanted to trust her. Now that both don't trust each other, the party is getting a bit awkward. Then there is a big slime in which Chana wants to redeem herself, but she rushes in and causes it to explode. As they clean themselves up, Nick thinks it is a good idea to show his comrades all the weapons and items he has, as well as the things he is good at. The rest wonder if this means telling their weaknesses. Nick doesn't want to force them to tell, and he only does so when they feel like it. But it is no secret that all of them were deceived by people, so it makes them reluctant to reveal their true skills. Chana starts by apologizing to Curan while telling him about the magic skills she is good at. And while the trust is not fully back yet, at least they're making an effort to build it back. Survivors then start hunting ogres for more money. However, they soon realize they will have to face larger packs, and they suck at cooperating for now. Fleeing is not an option, as if they let the pack be, they'll start attacking other people nearby. They head in straight for the attack, and thankfully everything ends well. As they are collecting their horns, Nick accidentally bumps into Curan. It looks like her prized pendant is cracked. A flashback shows Curan saw this pendant a merchant was selling. Because it was expensive, she didn't buy it. However, the merchant accused her of scratching it and will not report her if she buys it at half price. That was when her comrade, Kalios, bought it and then told her to scratch it. This revealed the merchant's bluff because Curan's scratch is huge and crude, unlike this fine, tiny mark. Noting he swapped the real one with this scratched one, will he give this real pendant, or would he like to be reported? Curan continued to follow Kalios on various adventures. But in one adventure where she had to risk her life, she almost died, and in that paralyzed state, she learned Curan used and betrayed her just to get whatever prized pickups. Curan survived and limped her way back to the inn. To her dismay, she learned Kalios told everyone she had died, and then sent her belongings back home. This included the important Dragon King's jewel she was given to protect by her clan. She tried to look for Kalios, but to no avail. Then she stumbled into this solo adventure, Fifths. She got amused by the things he ate, So she copied and ordered the same food as he did. Of course, he knew what was going on and played along. So for Curan to continue enjoying such foods, she needed money, and hence her adventuring with our non-believers. Thus, Curan doesn't actually care about the pendant. As long as she can have good food and have a nice time with her friends, that's all that matters. Soon the quartet gets a request to find a sacred sword inside the labyrinth of bonds. While exploring the labyrinth, Nick comes across a strange room, and the sacred sword is there. But it might not be the sword, because everyone else thinks it is broken. The sword then speaks to them, trying to convince them that he is not. Survivors cast their doubt, and worse, they are not going to equip him but rather sell him. The sword is devastated because he too tells his story about how his comrades abandoned him here. They left him behind, assuring they would find a suitable wielder for him, but they never came back. Suddenly, the security system activates, and a golem materializes. The only way out alive is to defeat it. No matter how much they fight it, it regenerates. Curan then takes a deep blow, but is not fatal, so Nick is forced to become the decoy while the rest escapes. Having no choice, he equips the sword and is told to do some stuff in order to activate his full power, but nothing happens. The golem smacks him, and he gets buried under the rubble. Curan goes to rescue him while the rest try to hold it back. Nick is alive, but still feels guilty for breaking Curan's pendant. Cue for Curan to assure him that while she cannot forgive Kalios, it is more important for her to make new memories with them. Otherwise, it'll be like running away. With whatever criteria is fulfilled, the sword starts to activate. A fused Nick and Curan easily destroy the golem and its core. Survivors hand in the sword and get their due reward. However, the sword is a clone, and the guild doesn't even realize it. Because the real sword now takes on the form of a human kid. Named Kazuna, he joins the survivors and learns their rules, especially not questioning or interfering in their hobbies that they so rightfully love to spend their hard-earned money on. Jenna remembers how she took away the strongest title from her teacher and somewhat ended his career. He interacted as if it were nothing, though. On second thought, maybe his passively aggressive jokes mean something, like how humans felt the need to be wanted despite wanting freedom, and hence humans should be destroyed. And if they can still laugh like this, perhaps the worst is yet to come. On a quest to make money, Kazuna rushes in to fight some orcs and easily defeats them. Not sweat since he borrows their magic and stamina to pull off those awesome moves. As Nick and Curan eat at a diner, Nick spots somebody familiar a few tables away. It's his ex-girlfriend, Claudine. She's trying to scam a young boy to give her more money with her lies. Nick steps in to stop Claudine before things get ugly, but that's not the end of it. Later, she comes back with Leon from the Iron Tigers to get even with Nick. Nick is quick to reveal Claudine's ulterior motive, to sell some necklaces to get money to escape the gang. She claims it is all lies. Leon tells him to step outside to settle this. Nick prepares to fight, but wait, Leon apologizes and thanks him. He knows Claudine is a cheating liar and has conned a lot of people, making lots of enemies. He is glad he stopped her. However, Leon thinks Nick is trying to con his new party, and this has Nick punching him. Now they're really going to fight. Too bad for Leon. Nick is way superior. This farce is put to a stop when the others come by. However, as long as they follow the rules, they can continue what they're doing. They have to settle this via bare knuckle and math. One pair will be fighting, and the other will be doing the math. The point is to teach adventurers some arithmetic, so unless one finishes all the questions, the fight can go on forever. Curan is drawn to be the math player against Claudine, so while Curan does her practice, Zem does his womanizing to find some information and learns something about a strange man around town. The game begins as Nick brawls with Leon while the ladies start cracking their heads. Curan finishes first but ends up making mistakes. Because Claudine has the higher score, Leon is allowed to give one penalty punch to Nick. The same thing happens the next round, and this zaps Curan's morale. However, Nick tells her that she isn't a useless person and that she could only get better. This motivates Curan and worries Claudine. Claudine and Leon are calm is because they have a plan. It is all to buy time. As the questions get harder, it will soon be out of Curan's league. Then they'll go in for the kill. Chana is trying to scan for this magic trick, but can't find any. But soon she does. Claudine is using some telepathic gemstone connected to Beg as he is telling her answers to her questions. Beg is soon caught, and their little cheating is over. Leon and Claudine are arrested, as Claudine refuses to accept all this. She claims she wasn't a bad person from the start. Leon once had an older brother. He was a genius and an adventurer. Thanks to him, they got some wealth, and with all but one small mishap, he died a pathetic death. Leon is now interrogated by the guards for some treasure. He calls forth his sword of evolution to free him and bust him out of prison. Tiana is at the casino, and the dealer and other players hint to her to team up and make this gambler broke. Tiana just goes ahead and plays along until one guy gives up. His companion is somewhat grateful to her, as she thinks her actions were to stop him from further gambling. Soon, the place will be under attack. It's Leon who evolved. He is going to find and kill Nick, but stumbles into Tiana. He thinks of using her as a hostage to lure Nick, but Tiana laughs at it. She corrects his mistake of thinking they are comrades. They may look like it, but they're not. They don't even trust each other. Leon is confused because he doesn't smell any lies in those words. It seems as though she has resigned to that fate. He is going to kill her. But here comes Nick to the rescue. Leon's sword senses Kazuna in sword form and looks like he has some sort of grudge. Kazuna realizes this sword has taken over Leon's mind, and at this rate, it will be at a point of no return. Hence, Nick and Tiana fuse together via Kazuna to attack. Leon realizes he is starting to lose himself. His body is causing all this destruction that he doesn't want. However, his sword is trying to convince him that this is what he wants. Leon remembers that he too was betrayed by comrades and lost faith in humanity. Hence, he went into this swindling business to feel good about himself, because the one who gets tricked is also their fault. However, Leon can't stand it anymore and is powerless to break free. Nick Tiana comes to the rescue. In the end, they manage to break Leon free of the sword. Leon sits in prison as he recalls his ironic life cycle. Nick visits him to tell him that despite the damage, there were no casualties, and most importantly, that cursed sword is sealed. Nick and Agate talk. Agate has been in a dilemma since giving him tickets to her concert. She always wondered if she had ruined his life. Nick doesn't fault her. Even though, without her, he could have found interest in something else or become a criminal, he is glad being her idol fan put him back on the right path. Now we see Agate's flashback. Her real name is Belle Haggins, and she sings at Donnie, her boyfriend's pub. However, the pub is often empty, and she's singing to an empty crowd. One day, a producer named Joseph Coleman scouts her to be an idol. He invites her to go watch an idol concert, and, safe to say, she becomes enthralled by this world. She believed greed led her to take this path since she wanted people to accept her and hear her singing. She became an idol and went by the stage name Agate. As she began to rise, obviously, Donnie started to fall. He borrowed money from her to feed his gambling habit. Since she had the means, she always relented, but she couldn't help wondering if this was what he wanted. In the recent event at the casino, that guy is Donnie, and Agate is his companion. Agate narrates that she met a goddess and believed those eyes wanted to destroy her instead of Donnie. Then she saw how cool she was when Leon attacked. She became her hero, her paladin. Soon, Joseph makes a deal with Donnie to absolve all his debts, with the condition that he cannot see Agate anymore. Even if they meet on the street, they will be strangers. It's a sad thing, as Agate gives her opinion on this. She was actually quite willing to be an idol for him, but he has started to look at the money instead of her. Hence, having her around him will make his life worse. And just like that, they parted ways. Now Agate continues to perform before her fans and even wrote a new song dedicated to her paladin. She wants to become one of those people who inspires others. Later, Agate and Nick talk again. Agate sounds tired that, as humans, once you solve a problem, more arise. But as Nick puts it, it is proof that you can take a step forward, and that's just what they have to do. Move forward. Kazuna is excited about this stepping man legend who kidnaps kids at night. This attracts the attention of Olivia Taylor, who is the publisher of a well-known magazine. She is interested in weird things happening, and please do tell them if they find any. Soon, Nick and Kazuna save Zem from an invisible dude whom they think is Stepping Man. Zem has been protecting this young girl, Riane, from being kidnapped. Rihanna soon reveals that her mom has been going out every night to catch this stepping man, but ended up in the hospital. She tried to warn others about the kidnapping, but nobody believed her. The survivors will help her, and Rihanna wants to be Zem's disciple. Good thing the ex-priest learns from his lesson and will not take on anyone who is underage. They head to the local guild to find out more, but since they are nobodies, they must prove themselves by accomplishing this task of bringing in this hoodlum, Hale Hardy. Some adventurers bet that they can't do it, so Channa eagerly wagers right now that they can. Survivors head to the slums, where everybody is just dying of some disease, and ask about it until they manage to nab Hale. On the way out, they meet this ex-priest, Nelgava, who seems to be a fair person to let Hale be taken away and judged if he has committed some evil. He doesn't know about Stepping Man, but Hale laughs it off because everyone here has kidnapping potential, though he notes a weird reporter going around giving candy to kids to talk to them, with the survivors winning the bet. You losers better pay up because Channa uses those winnings to buy everyone here drinks. Survivors then get access to reports and other related documents on Stepping Man. Then they soon realize that Olivia fits the description because right now she is seen talking to Rihanna after giving her a candy. Nick has everyone else block the exits as he talks to her. Olivia is playing dumb like an innocent fool. But since Nick isn't buying any of it, she makes a quick escape. A hole right through the roof. Zem is still having nightmares about his imprisonment. Rihanna's mom, Ada, comes to talk to the survivors. Nick knows her since she is a very well-known adventurer. Ada wants Rihanna to stop going after Stepping Man since it is too dangerous. As for being Zem's student, Zem is quick to explain his tragic past, and until today, he still suffers from trauma when he sees a young girl. He only saved her because it was the natural thing to do, though it gave him hope that he might overcome this one day. Rihanna clears the air by saying that Zem is only her teacher. If she wanted a boyfriend, she would make better choices. As for the Stepping Man case, Ada is too old to go after this herself, and she thinks survivors aren't strong enough to face him. Since Nick pleads to get stronger, it's time for Ada to train him. The key is agility, so Nick trains on how to be light-footed on the ropes. One night, survivors manage to save another girl from Stepping Man's kidnapping. Nick calls out to Olivia to stop it, but Stepping Man doesn't respond and escapes. Because Kazuna also sensed some sort of illusion magic, Nick goes to ask Leon if there is an item that can do such. Apparently there is. Illusion, King's Jewel. But breaking its spell is easy, as you need to call out the person's name with conviction. Nick wonders if Stepping Man is in Olivia, since that had no response. On one foggy day, survivors are attacked by the Stepping Man, who turns out to be Olivia. But Olivia thinks Nick is Stepping Man with his agile moves. There is more confusion because Olivia also admits she is known as Stepping Man. The Stepping Man nickname she is known for is for jumping around the city's roofs at night, not the kidnapping one. Now she cooperates to help them find that kidnapper. She takes them to a morgue, a dead girl, and they can't describe her face. Then they find an illusion King's Jewel that is interfering with their recognition ability. Breaking its spell, now they can see her features clearly. Further investigation reveals Martha Canning died of yellow fever and was the daughter of a guy who runs an armor shop. From all the information, it seems Zem has figured out who Stepping Man is. Nick fights Stepping Man, and after a few talks, he deduces his identity as Nelgava. He is trying to find a cure for the yellow fever and kidnapping kids as samples. This is one reason why the infection didn't spread rapidly from the slums to the urban areas. However, because of that, he is also spreading the disease. His reason for doing it is because his daughter had it and died from it. Basically, that disease is an STD, and his daughter died trying to help someone infected. Worse, they never believed her and laughed after she died. That's when Nelgava got disillusioned about God taking away his daughter. Survivors understand, but that doesn't make what he did right. When Nelgava adds that both truth and fake are real, and that he chose not to run away from responsibilities, Zem continues to condemn his actions. When Martha revealed her identity, many, especially her parents, cried. She may not be anyone to him, but she is to others. The same can be said about his daughter. Nelgava believes he is not like Zem because he had an ulterior motive to become a priest and had used shady matters to rise up through the ranks. He thought some deaths were necessary so others could live. Zem isn't sure about that because it's not for them to decide. And that's what makes life interesting. Suddenly, a knight with a white mask zaps Nalgava. Zem tries to heal him, but is told it is futile because he is going to die anyway. White Mask continues to attack survivors, and since Zem continues to heal Nalgava, he is told his actions will lead to their deaths. Zem is in a dilemma, but luckily Olivia is here to keep White Mask busy while Zem fuses with Nick via Kazuna. With them outnumbering White Mask, he decides to retreat. As Nalgava is trapped beneath the rubble, he is going to die, and this place is going to collapse soon. Zem puts him at ease before the survivors escape as the building caves in. Zem continues to be sad that he couldn't save others, but the rest believed he saved him in his final moments. When are people's sins forgiven, and by whom? This gives Zem the much-needed strength to carry on saving others, but now their attention turns to Olivia. They want to know her true identity since she could fight on par with White Mask and has some dangerous weapons herself. She reveals she is the Sword of War. After defeating Stepping Man, the survivors all enter a state of depression. Nick remembers meeting Argus, who saved him from the bandit who murdered his parents. Zem takes over Nalgava's clinic in the slums. Channa returns to gambling but no longer enjoys it. When the survivors meet, there is uncertainty over what to do next. Curan begins brooding over Kalios and wonders if she should forget about him and move on. Olivia uncovers evidence that the Dark Demon God will soon return, with White Mask somehow involved. She is also investigating the black market that sold Nalgava the Illusion King gem. Curan takes an interest in the market, as it may be where Kalios sold her Dragon King gem. The survivors promise that if she ever wants to find her gem, they will help. Suddenly inspired, the survivors decide to uncover the conspiracy, expose White Mask, and stop the Dark Demon God's return. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, and peace out.